Good morning, it's Dr. James. I do hope and pray this message finds you and your loved ones peaceful, thriving, and well. And this morning, I want to talk specifically about peace. Because I do believe more and more of us these days, if not every single one of us, is finding it more difficult to experience peace. You know, there's a lot of research these days that talks about how we are being emotionally triggered more now than ever before. And it's a combination of many things, right? It's a combination of what's happening in the world, what's happening with digital media, what's happening with politics, what's happening with people, what's happening with everything. The climate, my gosh, can we just have a list? No, I don't want to go through that list. We all know there's just a lot of things that we are feeling connected to, triggered by, and in that stimulating parts of our brain that just put us into a place of fight or flight like that. And if you have any history of trauma, history of PTSD, history of being violated, oh my goodness, this is like no other time in our lifetime. We just feel like we can be brought into a space of darkness, a space of fear, a space of safety issues so quickly. So I want to address what science is telling us about those triggers, the place in our brain called the amygdala, and how what we're seeing these days is the amygdala seems to get a lot more energy these days. And it wasn't intended to be that way, I do believe. I think, thousands and thousands of years ago, right, the amygdala was critically important for survival because there's a lot of physical threats. But these days, there's less physical threats, I pray, but unfortunately a lot more emotional threats. And that is kind of charging and recharging, invigorating the amygdala. So we are finding ourselves much more triggered, much more open and susceptible to emotional things that really bring out a lot of emotions that send us either back into history, send us into forward fear, but certainly don't allow us to be present. So I want to talk about how do we calm the amygdala. And there's three things that science tells us that we can do, and oh my goodness, I hope and pray you practice these because these will quiet your amygdala, and in that, quiet the fear, quiet the issues that come up when we're feeling like we're being triggered. We see something, it brings up something for us. These three things will help us to stay more centered, more peaceful, more calm. Because I'm a big believer. Oh my gosh, am I a believer in the fact that if we can carry peace inside of us, it is a form of contagion. And I do believe in my lifetime, I want to experience peace on earth. And people will say, oh my gosh, where are you living? I am living in my heart and I'm not coming out, because that's what I believe I need to live to absolutely make this happen, at least for me and the people around me. It's contagious to be peaceful. So the first thing that we can do to quiet the amygdala and not have it be so triggered and not bring up so much for us these days simply is a mindfulness practice, which is simply being present. Oh my gosh. And it says, I say simply, but it's not simple. Oh my gosh, it feels like it's so difficult these days. In fact, Harvard tells us that we are spending either 50% in future fear or 50% in past regret, and maybe half of our life we're here. But when we're here, like when we are here to do the little things in life, we're here to do those dishes. We're here to be with our partner. We're here to be with our kids. We're here to be with a friend. We're here to be with just ourselves in our thoughts, and not be distracted by our phones and stuff going on around us. Being present literally makes the amygdala go, there's nothing to worry about. I'm going to start being more quiet. I'm going to start creating a little more buffer between me and all the things that used to trigger me. I'm going to create more peace and safety inside of my neurochemistry. Mindfulness. Number 2, belly breathing. It's absolutely associated with one critical thing these days that we're not doing enough of: igniting and spending more time invigorating the parasympathetic nervous system. There's something called sympathetic dominance, which is basically that we are kind of in fight or flight. We're triggered, we're ready to go, we're ready to fight, we're ready to get after it. And that's a sympathetic side of our nervous system, which is all about stress and fighting and flighting and not being in a space of grace and peace. So when we do our time to literally work on belly breathing, which is simply bringing our breath all the way down to our diaphragm, and for extra credit, when you bring your breathing down into your belly, just go ahead and hold it for 3, 5, 7 seconds. Not like, but just like, and then release it through your nose. Inhale through your nose, hold, release through your nose. That'll engage your parasympathetic nervous system. Your parasympathetic, think P for peace, sympathetic, S for stress. The third thing, chanting. Now, many people go, wait a second, I am not a chanter. Well, you know what? I am a chanter and I love chanting. And I didn't grow up as a chanter. I started learning about it in my early 20s, and it made me feel so good after meditation or during meditation when people start chanting. And I've got plenty of chants. I've got Om Mani Padme Hum. I've got Om Namah Shiva. I've got I am peace, I am love, I am light, I am alive. All of those things. And you can do it with a melody. You can do it just with your own peace and space, just to hold a few words and say them over and over again and let them be harmonic. Studies show that when we do that, there creates a resonance in our nervous system. It creates a shunt away from putting energy into our amygdala and puts it in other parts in our brain that are associated with peace and healing and compassion. In particular, our limbic system helps to unwind a lot of traumatic memories. So chanting, oh yes, find something, and maybe you've got something, you write it down for all of us to see, but chanting is beautiful. And these three things can be something to put on your to-do list, not your to-do, let's call it your to-you list, going from to-do, which is like a list of things I gotta do, how about to-you, things you get to do. You get to be mindful, you get to breathe from your belly, and you get to chant something loving and calming and peaceful, and you get to do it all day long. And in that, you get to be peace. You get to be peace on earth. And anyone who sees you starts to feel that peaceful energy and that exchange, that currency of love. Oh my goodness, do we need more of that these days? Let it begin with us. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with us. Thank you. Much love, deep peace, many blessings. Bye for now.